welcome back. Tonight, I don't know what I'm making actually. Well, I don't have a name for it. I'm trying to use up the last of that 10-pound bag of potatoes, so I've got a bunch of vegetables and stuff, and we'll see what happens. Maybe by the time I'm done, I'll come up with a name for it. Start off here by chopping up a couple of, I guess, medium-sized yellow onions. And just a real coarse chop. This is going to be pretty rustic soup. Also going to use about 7 cloves of garlic. Again, like the onion, I'm not going to bother with chopping them too finely. Just give them a smash like this with the side of the knife to get the skins off. And then give them a good quick chop. As always, if you don't care for big hunks of garlic in your food, go ahead and chop it fine, or if you got a garlic press, put it through that. I actually do have a garlic press, I just don't use it because I'm lazy and I hate cleaning it. Next, I've got about 5 pounds of potatoes. I peeled them this time. I'm going to cut them up in about 1-inch pieces. If you remember from the turkey stew, I'm keeping them in a bowl of water, both after they've been peeled and after they've been cut, just to keep them from turning brown. Next, I'm going to get to work on the celery. I usually throw out this tough white end at the bottom. I'm going to use an entire bunch of celery. Normally for something like this, I might only use 2 or 3 pieces, but honestly I don't know that I'll use it again before it goes bad. So I might as well use the whole thing. Don't be afraid of using the leafy bits that are in the middle, because they're actually pretty tasty. I've also got 3 zucchinis and the mushrooms. If they've got a pretty good stem on them, I usually take that off and get rid of it, because they can be kind of woody. And finally, for the vegetables, at least the corn. If you wanted to, you could buy a couple cans of corn, but I really like the flavor of the fresh. Don't throw these cobs in the trash. We're actually going to throw them into the stew and let them get some of their flavor in there, but this is going to make the corn easier to eat. I've got 6 pieces of thick-cut bacon that I'm going to cut into about inch-long pieces also. Once you get the bacon cut up, do want to kind of separate the pieces a little bit. Like so many of the other things we do here, all we need for this one is a big pot. When I get the pot going over medium heat, let it heat up, in goes the bacon. Just want to let the bacon get crispy and brown, like bacon. The bacon's not quite done yet, but I'm going to go ahead and throw in the sausages. You're going to want to pierce the casings on these and make sure they get cooked through, although they're going to stew in it for a while. Bacon's done. This is what the bacon should look like. Take the bacon out with a slotted spoon, get it on a paper towel and a plate to drain. These sausages are looking good. This is what they look like after they've been flipped, and you want them to look like that on the other side too. Another way to know whether or not the sausage is fully cooked is you'll notice when they're raw, they're pretty squishy. And poke them with the spoon, kind of get a gauge of how that feels. They'll firm up quite a bit once they're fully cooked. I think the sausage are close enough. I'm going to go ahead and take them out right now. Now, the sausage and the bacon are going to put off a fair bit of fat. If you think there's too much fat in the pot, take some out. Throw in the onions and garlic. As always, plenty of salt and pepper. As the liquids come out of the onions, they'll help you scrape up all the brown stuff off the bottom of the pot. If you had a little wine or sherry or something like that, you could throw that in here and help the process. The onions and garlic are about where I want them. Here's what they look like right now. Now it's time to add in the potatoes. Drain off the water over the sink. And the potatoes go in the pot. Salt and pepper those potatoes pretty well. Then I'll go ahead and throw in the mushroom, zucchini, and celery. Salt and pepper those too. And because this is a great big soup, of course, we need some liquid. I'm going to add enough water to cover. A couple of tablespoons of parsley flakes. Of course, a couple of bay leaves. I'm going to throw 3 dashes of allspice in there. About a tablespoon of dried thyme. 2-3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now I'm going to crank that up to high and let it come to a good rolling boil. Let's not forget the corn. The bacon can go back in the pot now. And just like with everything else, we're going to cut these sausages into about 1-inch pieces. It goes in the pot too. Still not even at a bubble yet, but at the moment this is what it looks like. It's come to quite a rolling boil. Take the heat down to a medium-low, let it go until potatoes are tender. Soup's not ready yet, but I've got some fat floating around on the top, and I don't like that, so I'm going to go ahead and skim that off. Everything's cooked. I just tested a potato. Stick a knife in it. If it goes in easily, you're good to go. Fish out these corn cobs we've got in here. Put in a pint of half and half. What I'm going to do is remove a fair bit of the broth. Into that broth that I just removed, I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of flour into it. Whisk that up. Dump that mixture back into the pot. I'm going to call that good. I happen to have a can of those instant biscuits and thought those would be good to cook up along with it. Just follow directions on the tube. We're ready to serve up. As always, thanks for watching. Maybe next time we'll try something that doesn't use the big pot, just for a change of pace.